Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mental Hellness. I am super excited that you decided to join me today. I have Elaine Gold, who is going to jump on with us in just a second. Now, Elaine, I've known for quite some time, and she is not only a hoot, but she is a fantastic storyteller, and she tells stories all over the city about her wild and wacky adventures. And yes, she is wild and wacky. And she's also got some stories about mental health that I think are going to be really insightful for us today. So without further ado, I'm going to admit Elaine into our chat. Da-da-da-da. Where are you, Elaine? Elaine?
Where am I?
I don't know. I don't see your beautiful face. Move your camera.
Oh, my camera moved.
Your camera. Yay. There you go. But look at how much better. Nope, now you got to sit up.
I know I have to sit up.
You need a booster seat?
I did it. I do. I did a show from LA.
Yeah. No, I still just the top of your head. You might have to stand. There she goes. So this is, live Zoom for you, everybody. And that's just part of the fun, and it's part of the hellness. There you go. No,
Well, I'll be back.
She's going to go get another cushion. There. Try to hold it like that. You might have to hold it, Elaine. There you go. Kind of, sort of. Yay. There you are. No. We got to start. There she is, everybody.
Here I am in all my...
Hi. And I was just going to say, because you've got a new webcam and I've got a new webcam, so we're crisp and clear today.
Allegedly,
at least camera-wise. How are you? How you doing?
I'm embarrassed to say this because I'm like a poster child for mental health.
Yes.
But I'm so well. I'm going to have to hand in my mental health grief card and give it to, everyone in Parkdale. So.
Well, and we've talked about this before, and just so everybody knows, we tried to do this about a month or so ago. And as everybody knows, if you're following along in the Mental Hellness group on Facebook, I am not a technical whiz. So sometimes we have camera issues. Sometimes I forget to hit record, which is, I think, what happened last time with you, Elaine. So now I'm looking up in the corner and I'm seeing the recording. So we're all good. Yes. But we were talking then about how you've actually fared pretty damn well through this pandemic.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, first of all, I will say the secret to my success turned 2 yesterday.
Okay. What is it?
I was never somebody who ever cared, thought about, or discussed being a grandmother. Well, I'm a bubby, okay, because I'm a card-carrying Jew. So I'll show you my card later.
Okay.
So I have so many children, and I never said to any of them, well, first of all, I would never say, when are you getting married? Because I don't wish that on anyone. So I never said to them, when are you getting married? And I never, ever said, when are you making me a bubby? When are you having, blah, 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 blah. Never, okay?
Right.
So I just said, if it happens, obviously I'll be the first to hear about it.
For sure.
So my eldest daughter did bestow this amazing gift on me. And I was like, yeah, no, this is going to be great. No, at the time when it was all being discussed, I was still working. And so I said to her, I'm going to be working. I'm going to quit my job to be a full-time bubby, blah, blah, blah. So it turned out that 10 days after my job ended, I found out my daughter was pregnant. So the timing was incredible. Now, as you more than anyone know, Lori, I was still bathed in deep black dog depression.
Yes.
In 2018. Even knowing my daughter was pregnant did not help that at all.
The cloud was heavy on your
It was
head.
almost hurting my head. That effing dog was so heavy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And that
I
went
know
on
it.
for more than a year, off and on. Obviously, every day wasn't like that. But now she's here, and now she's 2. And we had she's having parties all week. But last night we had an amazing celebration on my deck, and I just looked around, and one of my dearest, closest friends, who I hadn't seen since November for obvious reasons,
Yeah.
was there. And she's a very, very close friend of mine, but she's actually closer in age to my daughter.
Right.
And so we're all extremely close. And she was there, my 2 daughters, the baby, who's now 2, and my son-in-law. And I just thought, my life is incredible. Plus, it was wonderful weather, and I'm kind of affected by weather.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I know having the sun out day after day really is a very big, helpful deal for us.
Yeah.
So I just thought last night, and I've, thought at other times, I thought, you know what, Elaine? Just shut up, because you're all right. For
So
now.
what? So no complaining is what you're saying.
Yeah. For now. Yeah. No, I still have a bit of a chasm in my social dating sex life.
Right. Oh, there's that too. Now, does that cause for depression? Is it cause for depression or celebration?
No. Well, not depression for sure. I don't want to go all Gloria Steinem on you, but she did say at least 40 years ago, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle.
Right.
And there is some truth to that. At this point in my life, I am 65, people. Yeah. And I
can't believe that one.
Stop.
I can't. I'm sorry, I can't.
I've just come in from a run, and I'm not at my best, but we're just old pals. So
Stop.
So, yes, it would be really nice to have someone in my life, but I don't want someone in my life too much. I certainly don't want to live with anyone, and I don't really need anybody, right. But I don't want to give up like at 65 and go, that's it, I'm done with men. Like, I don't want to be that bitter librarian, dour-faced woman. That's not me.
I don't, no, but I mean, I think, in just talking to you, like, you are probably one of the most self-aware people I know. Like, you're very clear on what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And one of the things I wanted to throw out there, you just said you came back from a run, and I know that you're a big time walker and runner. And has that played a role, do you think, in keeping the black dog of depression at bay?
100%. I remember, no, I did tell this when we did our last show that wasn't recorded, so I can repeat it.
You totally repeat it. Please do.
It's not even that interesting. But when I was really, really wrapped up in that depression, I was texting you all the time, Lori, black dog, help me. Yeah. And I remember, and it was cold this particular winter, the winter of
2018, wasn't it?
2018, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really, really cold, but it wasn't super snowy. And I was out walking like, literally a crazy person. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and I live in Parkdale. If you're following along in the show and you actually care about this story, I live in Parkdale. And one day I found myself at Broadview and Danforth, probably for a reason, but I hope.
And by the way, if you don't know Toronto, that's clear the other side of the city.
It's west to east. It's kind of far, but not crazy far. And so I was way out there, and I'd been all in a tizzy. And then I got back, and I was at the grocery store in my neighborhood, and I was walking around the grocery store all smug. And I was like, hey, I'm fine. I don't know. And then I was like, yeah, you're fine, idiot, because you just walked 20 miles to get fine. And then I was like, oh, okay. So actually I'm not fine, but that's a trick that
you outrun the black dog when you do that, right?
Well, till the next day.
Right.
But
for sure.
But yeah, and I remember like, I remember the feeling so vividly of walking around the grocery store going, hey, I'm all right. Look at me, I'm feeling good. And then I was like, oh, okay. Now, because I wasn't working, I had a lot of time to
Yeah.
do that. But probably if I had been working, I wouldn't have been so depressed. But
There's something to that though, right? I mean, and I think um, one of the sort of the push pull about depression, and I know from my own experience, is on the one hand, the last thing you want to do or think you can do is anything, right? You just feel like you just don't have it in you to do anything. And then the flip side to that is, but if you do, there is some relief to be had. But one of the things I don't want people to feel bad if they can't do anything, because there are plenty of days where I stay in bed with the blankets over my head. And that's just how it is, right?
mm-hmm.
That's just part of the illness. But it is so, it just feels counterintuitive when you're really depressed to try to do something. But when you do it, there is relief.
Mm-hmm.
There can be. And it does depend. Everyone's different.
Well,
But
no, everyone is really different. I am
yeah.
the type of depressed person that, first of all, I proclaim my depression publicly, which I think is
Yep.
helpful.
Yep.
And the other thing is, if I don't accomplish something every day, no matter what state of mind I'm in,
Mm.
well, I won't let that happen. I have to accomplish something. And generally it's some kind of physical activity, because it's twofold. One, it makes you feel better, and because of the endorphins, and
Right.
two, it makes you feel better because I've accomplished something.
Right.
But the other day I was like, not really feeling down, but I had bought new running shoes. Amazing, of course, to have new running shoes. I bought New Balance. I'd never worn them, and I got a really good deal. This place up Bloor and Ossington, really cheap. And I wore them, and then I started to have blisters, and they were hurting my heel, and there was blood. And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with these shoes? So the other day I was like, oh, I haven't accomplished anything. And then I was like, oh no, but you worked in your running shoes successfully. I've worked them in. And I was like, okay, that's an accomplishment.
Right? Hey,
I worked them in. I didn't give up.
Right. And I think that's exactly a great example of,
Yep.
for some people, an accomplishment could be showering,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It could be, I don't know, changing
washing
the
a
cat
few
litter.
dishes or something,
Something, yeah.
But I've had times when I had new shoes and I was like, that's it. I can't break these in. I'm giving up. But I was like, no, I'm not accomplishing anything in my life right now. So if I don't break in these shoes, I can't even go out in public. So
Right.
now I put them on in the morning. I'm like, I broke in my running shoes, little things, but
Well, I think, it is the little things, especially during, we're so limited now over the last several months of what we can actually do. And there's something to be said about, there could be days and days and days where I don't leave the house, and that's okay. But as soon as I was told you can't leave the house a few months ago, then I became really anxious about it, So it's when you're able to make some of those decisions on your own about what you're going to do, then I think that can take you, I don't know, that can take you a little bit further. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I have become very active again. I mean,
Right.
I still go out every morning and I walk and I run, but I have actually been to the AGO.
Nice.
Now, I wouldn't have been so vehement to get to the AGO, because sometimes I can go 8 months and I'm not in that damn AGO.
Right.
But because I couldn't get there by government order for 6 months, I was like,
Right.
I'm going to the AGO. So
Yeah.
I felt like, excuse me, that was a huge accomplishment.
Yep.
And I was very
we went to the Van Gogh exhibit.
I saw that. I was very impressed.
Yes. And that was the same kind of thing, is like, now suddenly you can do stuff. So let's make this an outing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And there was something, and both Paul and I felt really good about that. We felt like some sort of big box was ticked off, you know, that we were able to get out there, because we don't know what's going to happen next. If, you know, all the, you know, the talk now of a second wave, and oh my goodness, and now with the flu season coming along with COVID and everything, the messaging again over the last few days, the last week or so, has been dire again. So it's kind of like you almost want to get out there and do as much as you can before they take it away.
That's how I'm feeling. And, but I did make a point with my daughter last night, because I said, you know, flu season, which I really don't pay much attention to, and I don't get a flu shot, although I should, because I'm 100 years old. I said, I don't think flu season will be so bad this year because everyone's wearing a mask.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Right.
Yep.
And I also like that people aren't getting really close to me unless it's really, really close people, because I'm not so feely touchy. I don't like, you know, we'd go to a storytelling show and I'd have to hug every damn person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really want to hug all these people. And now hugging off the plate. I love it. And the people that I want to hug,
yes,
and there's not a lot of them, I can hug them because they're probably some kind of biological connection to me. And
they're in your bubble, whatever that bubble is, right?
Exactly. So, yes, so I've tried, and I've also been to 2 movies.
Nice. Oh, nice. And how did that go? Did you have to sit distanced? Like,
first of all, I think you know this about me, but I'm a movie buff, as it were. Okay. And my name on OkCupid is Film Buff. And so I like obscure-ish films anyway. Mm-hmm. So I went to see a film. It was at Dundas Square, which, you know, first of all, there was nobody there. Right. Because most people aren't as crazy about going to see films the way I am. So people are happy to watch stuff at home.
Right.
I'm not. Was with a friend and a man.
Ooh.
More on that later. Private, Lori.
Okay.
And, there was no one in the theater but the 2 of us, because it was a Canadian Aboriginal film made by women, like obscure, very cool, beautiful film. Cried at the end, amazing. But we were the only 2 people in there. So
there you go. So there's your distancing.
I felt very safe.
Okay.
The film I went to a week before I was with someone, and then I'd say 6 rows back were 3 people.
Okay.
And walking like around, you wore your mask. Every time I went to the bathroom at both situations, there was no one in the bathroom. So it was absolutely not a thing. It's more of a thing going to the grocery store.
For sure. Yeah. You take your life in your hands. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was great. And that was the only thing. I mean, this is such a whiny first world problem baby, but I really miss going to movies, because it's a way for me just to escape.
Yeah.
Just to sit. It's just something that has really, that and walking are my 2 kind of go-tos for mental health. I could be in the worst mental state. And many of those times when I texted you about my black dog, I was walking to a film, because sometimes that's the only thing I can think of to get out of what state I'm in, because I'm going to go into someone else's mind for 2 hours.
And I think it's again, coming back to self-awareness, and you know what works for you. Mm-hmm. And I think that having that, it's always in your back pocket then. Mm-hmm. So even when the dog is scratching at your door, if you know that, okay, there's a couple things I know that I can do, and they're at least going to keep the leash longer. You know, the dog's not going to be right on top of me. Right. And
it's there, but it's a distance.
Yeah. Exactly. Or, you know, there's an awareness, and, but we have more control. And when you find what works for you, it does put a little bit more control back in your hands. And I think that is what can prevent us sometimes from being completely squished or demolished or mauled, to stick with the dog analogy, right. Being mauled by the dog. Right.
Right. So that's really great. And I'm actually going to a movie also tonight. Nice. And, but you know, I do feel good. And I mentioned this on the last unrecorded session we did. And
stop bringing that up.
I'm not trying to rub that in or anything. But I was really sort of, wondering and concerned and this and that, and thinking, and I am older now, and I just thought, I think I feel good.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Mostly because I have fewer, partly because of the pandemic. Like on one hand, yeah, the pandemic, I couldn't go to movies, wah, wah, wah. But the other thing was I had fewer options, and that made me happier. I didn't have to go to every storytelling show. I didn't have to schmooze at
Right.
this. I didn't have to go to this and schmooze.
Right.
I like all these people. I miss seeing you and Paul and having our giggle.
So, well, sure. But then it really has forced us to look at quality over quantity.
Right.
Like it really, really has. So yeah, no. So listen, because we're already getting close to the wrap up time. So here's what I always ask people. I know it goes by so fast.
Well, I mean, we're just pals that like to.
Oh, and then we will, take it offline. But I always ask people when I'm through talking to them. So if you were to leave the viewers with an Elaine-ism, so what is it, some pearl of wisdom when we think about managing mental health issues, what would you throw out at people?
I've said this for decades, since I was almost a little girl, and we've already talked about it. And I say this to people all the time: keep moving. Move your body. Even if you go out and you walk around the block 10 times and you think you feel like shit, and you're maybe crying and you're wearing your house coat, and park where in the neighborhood I live, no one would even notice. You'd be overdressed. But it's so important, if you move your body just as much as you can,
Yeah.
or even stand in the corner of your house and just stretch or go up and down. That has saved me. It has saved me. There's no blanket Band-Aid cure.
No.
But I tell everyone, if people want to lose weight, people want to feel better mentally, people want to have more mental clarity, people want to think about something,
Yeah.
go outside. It's really important for me too to do it outside. Get air and move.
And have the sun on your face. Because I know one of my doctors, he actually said to me, apart from all the medications that I take, he said, if I could write this as a prescription for you, is every day get outside and get the sun on your face.
Yep.
Just right. And there's something to be said about feeling alive, feeling your body and feeling alive. So I really agree with you about the movement, and it's really hard for me to do some days, but I do feel infinitely better on the days that I can do it, for sure.
And it doesn't have to be a lot.
No, like doing some deep knee bends for me, doing some squats while I'm, emptying the dishwasher.
Yeah. And if you want, or go out like on your front porch or something, just to get the sun on you, do a couple of squats, go inside, and that will help.
Yeah,
but
perfect.
I'm glad you said the sun on your face thing.
Yeah.
Because the other day I was outside and I was like this.
Yeah, like drink it in. Yeah. And thank goodness we're looks like we're in for a nice fall. So hopefully we'll have plenty of days where we're able to do that. Mm-hmm. Well, Elaine, thank you. And I know for sure we're recording because I'm looking in the corner. It says record.
I trust you enormously.
So
you're the brains behind this.
Oh yes, that's frightening. Thank you so much. Thank you. Listen, we'll talk soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. And now we're going to let you leave before I do my outro.
I'm leaving.
Okay, you're leaving. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. That was Elaine Gold. And oh, man, I love it. What would this little show be without our little, well, even just technical human glitches? It's part of what makes it real. And I hope that you enjoyed the conversation, because I always enjoy talking to Elaine because she always has lots of great insights to leave with us. So if you haven't already, try to get outside today and get some sun on your face. And I wish nothing but good for you today. And as always, be well.